My name's Anna Borthwick. I sit on the board of directors for DisabledGo, and on a day-to-day basis I get to lead a wonderful team of people who go out and do all the hard work for me, one of which is my colleague Dean, who you'll hear from later. So I've got a really nice job today of telling you a little bit more about DisabledGo, what we've been doing for the last decade to assist disabled people, and then obviously tell you more about what we've been doing here in Inverness. DisabledGo was founded in the year 2000 by a guy called Gregory Burke, really because it's such a simple idea. It's about providing information for disabled people and people with any form of access issue so they can feel confident about trying new places and get everything they can out of their local community and have the option of travelling further afield. So it's a simple idea, but it came from a lot of frustration. Gregory, like the majority of disabled people, wasn't born with his impairment. He acquired it as a teenager and was suddenly struck by the lack of information that was available for him when he came back out of hospital and was a wheelchair user. And so all the things that he started to do as a 16-year-old, so he'd go down, grab a coffee, go and have his hair cut, all those things that were really simple to do, suddenly when he came back to his hometown from hospital, that it wasn't that easy. You know, how did he know that he could get into a hairdresser's? Was there going to be an accessible toilet? Could his dad park the car? All of those things suddenly became really, really important. And as it was the age of the internet, he started looking around and seeing what information was available to him, and basically couldn't find anything. And so, almost by chance, he founded DisabledGo with the aim of providing a website which people could use for free, and on that website there would be all the information you needed to make confident choices about places you might want to go, regardless of what your disability might be. I joined DisabledGo nearly 10 years ago now. Doesn't seem that long. You can all tell me I don't look old enough in a minute as well. Essentially, I joined DisabledGo because my dad's a wheelchair user, and when I saw the advert for the job, I thought, why has no one done this before? And then when I started working for DisabledGo, I realised why no one had done that before, because it's a really difficult thing to look at how you possibly profile accessibility from all different people's perspectives and put that into a resource that was easy to use. And thanks to a lot of feedback from different disability organisations and people getting involved with this on a local level, I think we've come a really long way in the last 10 years. But essentially there are three things about what we do that are unique to us, and what I think is really important about what we do. And so we provide our information free of charge on our website, but the aim of the information, my colleague Dean will talk you through it, it isn't about saying if you're a wheelchair user this is the place to go, or if you've got a vision impairment this is right for you. It's about providing the information, telling people what they will find when they get to a venue. So it's giving people information to make informed choices, not saying to somebody what's right or wrong for them. And as a result, we go into a huge amount of detail about all kinds of different places. So we will profile any venue you'd access as a member of the public, a cinema, a hotel, this building. We do open spaces, beaches, or if you name it, we've probably surveyed it somewhere. And the information we go out and collect has been decided on by disabled people. So Dean will talk you through an example later on, and when we get to the toilet section, you'll see that there's an awful lot of information, and people will say, how can someone need to know that much about a toilet? But I can tell you now that every single piece of information that we go out and collect is because someone said, this is what I need to know, this is the thing that's really important for me to know in advance, so I feel confident that I can go and access that venue with no problems. And so, as I've alluded to, one of the key parts of what we do is we visit everywhere that we put on our access guides in person. I think it's an incredibly crucial thing that we do, because you need to be sure that information is correct. And so every place that we feature on our website, which is around 120,000 venues now, all of those have been assessed in person by a member of our team to ensure the information is collected to the same standard. And as a little bit of an aside, when I was a moody teenager, I was tasked by my dad to find a new place to go for dinner. My dad's a wheelchair user, and I thought I was pretty cocky at this point, and I had a long list of questions, and I rung up lots of different restaurants and said, can you tell me about your accessible toilet? I'm a little bit obsessed with accessible toilets over the years because this is the thing we need to know about. And I spoke to this really helpful guy. You know, this venue could not have been more happy to help me. And in the end of our conversation, he was in the accessible toilet on a caller's phone. And I had all my questions, and I was saying to him, can you tell me which side the transfer space is? And he was like, what on earth's the transfer space? And I was saying, oh, it's which side of the toilet's the gap, and you know, where's the door open, and where's your sink? And he was really, really helpful. And end of our conversation, I was like, right, we're going here on Friday, Dad, this is the place to go. And a Friday comes along, and we get in the car, travel to this new place, we get out of the car, and the first thing we do isn't to go to the bar, which would be my usual stop, but we go straight to the toilet to check this is what we were expecting, and opened the toilet door, looked at it, and this toilet was exactly what this guy said to me on the phone. I was feeling really smug. And then I went to get my dad in the door, and his wheelchair hit the door frame, and we were left with a toilet that was exactly what this guy described, but we couldn't use it. And so we went home, we turned around, and like now, we find this very funny. But at the time, we just thought, actually, this is too much hassle. Let's just go to the place that we know. And that is really why I'm so passionate about DisabledGo, because someone goes there in person, they don't forget to measure the door or talk about the door measurement, which was a thing I forgot then, and people can use it to find new places and not just stick to what they know. Because I've got to say that, from my personal experience, the area I know the least is the actual area I live, because it's too easy to stick to the things that you know rather than perhaps go and see what else is available. So that's a little potted history of DisabledGo. Now to talk about our access guide to Inverness and the surrounding area. I came probably 18 months ago now to see David Haas to talk about our work. We work nationally across the UK with about 90 local authorities, and we work with 12 now in Scotland. And I'm delighted to say that several have followed Highland Council's lead and looked at this project since I initially started talking to David. But David completely got what the project was about and the benefit it could bring to the city. And I know Councillor Brown equally really backed the project as well and enabled us to get it off the ground. And so what we're launching today, around 18 months later, is a guide to 1,000 venues across the city and the surrounding wards. And all of those 1,000 venues have been visited in person and assessed, and it covers everything from this building to retail, to leisure opportunities, to open spaces, so a huge variety, and my colleague Dean will talk you through just one of those examples. It's been a fantastic project for my team to work on. The bad bit about my job is I get to come and do all the stuff at the beginning, but I don't get any of the fun of delivering it. I just get to come today and see all my team's hard work. But I know that right from the outset, the Access Panel have been really, really crucial to helping us deliver this project. They've been extremely supportive, and we actually trained members of the panel to come and help our own surveyors. So it was a real joint effort with us working side by side, and I think their local knowledge and expertise has made the project that bit more special for us and has been a really valuable experience that we're looking to follow across our other work in Scotland. The guide itself is free for anyone to use. It is online, and we're going to try and integrate it as much as possible into the council's own website and other websites giving information about the city. But while we are an internet-based resource, we can also provide the information in hard copy as well. So if there are people who don't have internet access, they can still very much use this information and find it helpful when either travelling around the city or planning a visit. I have a very long list of thank yous. I always tell when it's a really good project because my list of thank yous gets bigger and bigger. I've mentioned David Haas and Councillor Brown. I think it's really very important that this project is led on, and Inverness has certainly been one where it's been given a real priority, and I think everyone's known about it from the beginning. Dean from my team I'd like to thank, because he does a fantastic job of getting everyone on board and making sure projects run to time, and I run to time. And I know that day to day Dean has been really helped along by Jimmy Flint and Rosemary McKinnon, who I'm sure will not like the fact I've thanked them in person, but I have. And I'd like to give our thanks as well to the Access panel, so to Lackey, Bernie, Hector and Rod and Lionel, who have all been really instrumental in giving us advice, in helping us draw up lists of priority venues and actually going out and doing some of the surveying for us. And I think it's been a really fantastic project for us to work on. So you'll hear from Bernie in a moment, and you'll hear from my colleague Dean, and he'll talk you through the resource. What I would say, though, is that this is a project that has got a long-term future. We don't just produce a guide and then leave. It's about making sure that it grows over time, in line with local priorities, in line with what local disabled people want to see on it. And we'll be back twice a year for the next 5 years to get people's feedback through some steering committee events where people can come along and let us know what they think. And crucially, we'll also be making sure we're keeping it up to date and adding to it each year, because when you have a resource like this, it's absolutely fundamental that you keep it up to date and people can trust the information that's there as accurate. So that's it from me, really. Thank you very much for coming along. Please help us spread the word that this resource is now available. Thank you very much.